All right, welcome everyone. Ready to take a deep dive into, well, more than just a match, really.
Yeah.
New Zealand versus England, third test, final one of the series. And, oh boy, also a farewell to a legend, right?
Yeah.
Tim Southee.
Absolutely.
We're going to go through all the good stuff, the highlights, dig into how some of those key players did, see how this shook things up on the, the World Test Championship, those standings.
For me, what really sticks out is the feeling of it all, right? England had already won the series, right? But New Zealand, they played like, I don't know, with fire. Like it was Southee's spirit pushing them on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And let's be real, England looked a little shaky. So day one, take us back.
Okay, so England wins the toss, right? Decides to field first.
Classic move.
Thinking they'll get a jump on things. Didn't quite work out that way, did it?
Nope.
Not at all. New Zealand openers, Latham and Young, they set the pace. Solid 93-run partnership. And you could see England getting a bit unsettled. Remember Duckett? 2 dropped catches. Just felt like, missed chances. Could have been a whole different story early on.
Yeah, like fate was on New Zealand's side, especially with Southee, last match and all.
Santner and, of course, Southee, they come out to bat. And those runs, they got New Zealand to a decent 347 total, gave them that mental edge going into day 2. And that's when things got really interesting.
Yeah. Day 2, it was like a switch flipped. New Zealand bowlers just on fire. England's batting lineup just dismantled.
It was Matt Henry's show. 4 wickets for 45 runs, and get this, a double wicket maiden.
Oh, hold on. Explain that one.
2 wickets in 1 over, no runs conceded, rare stuff. Shows you how much England was struggling.
So 6 balls, 2 batsmen out, and England got nothing.
Yeah.
Wild.
And Santner quietly picking up wickets too?
No way, really.
3 big ones, got Stokes too. England just couldn't find their groove. Bowled out for a measly 143. New Zealand's lead. 204 runs.
Massive. Talk about a turnaround. So going into their second innings, New Zealand, they were in control, total control. And they didn't let up, did they?
Nope. Pressure on, starting with Young smashing a quick 50. Then, of course, steady as a rock, Williamson. Another half century. End of day 2, their lead, 340 runs. Relentless.
That's a mountain to climb, even for England. Felt like the match was already slipping away.
Yeah, comeback chances were slim. Playing for pride at that point, dangerous but tough.
And then day 3. Starts with a rain delay. But that didn't stop Williamson, right? Doing what he does best, another century. His 5th in a row at Seddon Park. Unheard of.
It really is. Shows his consistency, knows that ground like the back of his hand. So comfortable there. And hey, while we're on good knocks, Reich and Ravindra too, almost a 50. Together, they just kept that lead growing.
They declared at 453 for 8, setting England a target of, 658 runs. Crazy. I was wondering, how do you even start to approach that?
Well, you got to give England credit. They didn't give up. Crawley and Duckett, out cheaply. But then 2 newer guys, Bethell and Root. 104-run partnership. Pretty impressive under the circumstances.
Bethell, yeah. First test series, 3 half-centuries already. Amazing for a young player.
Composed. For someone so new to this level, it's impressive. And Root, steady as always, solid 54. That partnership gave England fans something to cheer about, even though the odds were stacked against them.
But once that partnership broke, downhill fast for England, like someone flipped a switch. This O'Rourke, the bowler, he was intense.
Electrifying. Pace and aggression. Constant 90-mile for all or a plus. Tick out Root and Brook. Quick succession. Brook, surprised, I think, considering his form the whole series.
Yeah, Brook had been unstoppable until this match. But one dismissal, it just stands out. Ollie Pope. That wild reverse scoop against Henry, bold. Almost funny.
Weird shot selection for sure. Maybe the pressure, trying something different to change things up. Whatever it was, it backfired. Kind of sums up England's struggles.
From there, New Zealand just tightening the grip. Santner, brilliant bowling, picking up those key wickets, and how fitting. Santner takes the final wicket, bowls England out for 234.
It really was. 423 runs. That's the margin of victory. Biggest ever for New Zealand in Test cricket. You could see it meant something, especially for Southee being there for that.
Yeah, like something out of a storybook, right? Leading his team off the field, crowd going wild. Emotional, I bet.
The commentators, they said they'd never heard the Basin Reserve that loud. And after the ceremony, Sir Richard Hadley, another legend, gave Southee this memento. It was a really touching moment.
I bet. But it's not just the numbers, right? 391 wickets, 98 sixes, that's amazing. But there's something more to Southee.
Right. He's been such a great guy for the sport. Always that smile, playing fair, a real role model, especially for the younger guys coming up.
Which, speaking of, let's talk about some of those performances. This match really showed us the future of both teams. Santner, Player of the match, no surprise there. 125 runs, 7 wickets, both innings. Wow.
You know, people talk about his batting a lot, but this match, it was his bowling. Just kept England guessing. It mixed up his deliveries so well. That's maturity right there.
And England's side, Harry Brook, player of the series, even though this match wasn't his best. 350 runs total, 2 centuries.
Yeah.
He's one to watch, for sure.
Yeah, he's got this fearlessness when he bats. So exciting to watch. Reminds me of like a younger Ben Stokes, you know? Just going for it.
Can't forget Williamson's century either. 5 in a row at Seddon Park. What is it about that ground?
It's like he's got this sixth sense for the conditions there. So patient, waits for the perfect ball, builds those partnerships so smoothly. He's the anchor, no doubt.
And one more young guy caught my eye. O'Rourke, that bowler. Serious pace.
Yeah, 90 miles per hour, consistently. Potential, right there. Raw pace, you can't teach that. And he was getting bounced, too. That makes him even tougher. Exciting to see what he does as he gets more experience.
So, great result for New Zealand. Perfect ending for Southee. But bigger picture, series overall, England wins 2-1. But this last test showed some weaknesses, maybe.
For sure. They're batting, inconsistent, moments of brilliance, but then these collapses, like this match.
Crawley's form, bit of a worry, isn't it? Seems like Matt Henry had him figured out this series.
Crawley's got the talent, all the shots, but he can't seem to turn those starts into big scores. England needs him to find that consistency. Solid opening partnership, it's so important in Test cricket.
And they're bowling,
Yeah.
so many options. It's like they're still figuring out who works best together.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's finding that balance, attack, and control. And who's best for different conditions? That's the puzzle they got to solve if they want to be, truly dominant.
And this match, it mattered for the World Test Championship standings too, even though neither team could reach the final anymore. New Zealand's win bumped them up to 4th place, ahead of England, who dropped to 6th.
Small victory, maybe, but it shows New Zealand still a force to be reckoned with, and England a wake-up call. They can't afford to relax.
It's amazing how competitive that World Test Championship has gotten.
Yeah, every match, every point matters. It's great, isn't it? Creates this sense of, purpose. Even series like this already decided they still feel important. Everyone's playing for something bigger.
We've covered a lot, the match, the series, even the World Test Championship. But let's come back to what really brought us here. Southee's retirement. Big shoes to fill for New Zealand, bowler and leader, both. Where do they go from here?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Bolt retiring last year, that was another big loss.
Yeah.
So who steps up? Who leads the attack? Who guides those younger players?
There's talent there, guys like O'Rourke. But replacing Southee, Bolt, that's tough.
It's a challenge, yeah, but also an opportunity. New leaders, new partnerships. It's a fresh start for New Zealand cricket, and I'm curious to see what they do with it.
Well, we've gone deep on this one, haven't we? That last test, all the emotion of Southee's goodbye. It's been a ride.
Full of contrasts, for sure. England winning the series but losing this match. Southee's farewell happening as these young guys like Bethell, O'Rourke are starting out. Shows you, cricket, it's always changing. Always new stories to tell.
Makes you think, doesn't it? About the future, not just for these two teams, but for Test cricket as a whole.
Yeah, it does. It's like we're seeing this shift happening. Big names like Southee, Bolt stepping away, and this new generation coming in. Big moment. Makes you wonder, what will Test cricket even look like in, say, 5-10 years?
People always question if it's still relevant, with the T20s and all that. But then you get a match like this. The drama, the emotion, those individual battles reminds you why Test cricket still has that magic.
It's true. This format, it tests you like nothing else. Skill, temperament, how long you can last, and the history of it, all that tradition, it adds something special, It's not just a game, it's part of something bigger.
And Southee, he represented that his whole career. Not just a great bowler, but a great example of what Test cricket is all about. His retirement, it's like the end of something, but also the start of something new.
I like that, end of a chapter, but the story goes on. And now we see how guys like Bethell, O'Rourke, how they add to it, how they shape their teams.
Wrapping up this deep dive then, I just feel, amazed by what we saw on the field, off the field, New Zealand dominating, Southee's farewell, those young stars shining. It had it all.
Yeah, it really did. It reminded us why we love this sport, right? The surprises, the unexpected heroes, those moments you just don't forget. And it leaves us with this question, one we'll be thinking about for a while, I'm sure. All these changes, new faces, legends retiring. How's it all going to shape Test cricket going forward?
A question for all of us to think about as you reflect on this match. Southee's career, the future of these teams. What do you want to see? What do you think is possible? Because that's the thing about Test cricket. The story never really ends. Always another chapter to come.